What's going on, boxing fans? Julian Williams here at the distance. I got a prediction video for you guys this afternoon. This one's for Vic Darchinyan versus Abner. Matchup takes place December 11th on Showtime. Overall, it's going to be an interesting matchup. There's some people over here talking. But overall, it's going to be an interesting matchup between Mares and Vic Darchinyan. Because you have a young fighter in Mares, and you have a veteran like Vic Darchinyan. Both facing each other, and it's a very nice contrast of styles. Something that I do think about with this matchup is now kind of a step up. It's more of a step up in competition or in names. Say the most for Abner Mares. He fought Yanni Perez on May the 22nd on the undercard of Vasquez Marquez 4. And Darchinyan, I believe he had a matchup back in May, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, he had a matchup in May. The last time I saw him fight was in February. In the February, March, I did see him fight. And pretty much a candidate for Fight of the Year. Overall, it was a very good, very entertaining matchup in my eyes. But onto this matchup. The contrast of styles to think about with this matchup. Abner Mares, pretty good boxer, technically sound, but there's a lot of flaws in his game that can accommodate Vic Darchinyan. For Vic Darchinyan to win this matchup, Vic Darchinyan has to find a way to outthink the young Mares. He has to find a way to outthink him. He's going to have to find a way to pressure him. Pressure him using the jab, pressure him continuously by coming forward. Jab to the body, get him on the ropes. Cut off angles. Use the, use upper body movement a whole lot to try to slip and evade shots. Something that Abner Mares does forget at times is defense. If you look at the matchup against Yanni Perez, he rushed in, and he got caught with shots that he shouldn't have been caught with. Darchinyan, in this matchup needs to find a way to counter the jab. Counter the jab with an overhand right. And not even look for one shot in this matchup. Not even look for one shot. Look for multiple shots. Look for multiple openings against Mares, a fighter who's gonna fight you. If he has to, but at the same time he can box. If he can't, if there's no fight, that's just Mares' style. It's like I could box as well as I can fight. And Darchinyan is more of a fighter. And he does have show a lot of veteranship in his matchups. He jabs, he comes forward, he pretty much brings the fight to you. And he has kind of a little bit of a sloppy style with that Raging Bull style. There's some defensive liabilities with him as well, but he's good at pressuring and pretty much being an offensive fighter. And pretty much I just think that he needs to counter the jab. He needs a jab to the body to get him Mares on the ropes, and look for openings. And start off by using the jab to look for these openings. Look for counters. Counters inside. His bread and butter is going to be Abner Mares inside. That's going to be his bread and butter because Abner Mares is not the most defensive fighter inside. His inside defense is not the best, but he does a good job of outworking you before a fighter can get his defense off. And Yanni Perez has quicker hand speed, so that's how he was able to land. But that's something to consider in this matchup. For Abner Mares to win this matchup, Abner Mares is pretty much going to have to use a lot of jabs. He's going to have to beat Darchinyan to the jab. Mares has something that Darchinyan does not have, and that's the luxury of seeing Darchinyan be defeated twice, pretty much in two different ways. The left hook from Nonito Donaire. The left hook from Donaire was landing, and he was pretty much looking for that shot the whole entire matchup. Something that Darchinyan has trouble against, and if you've seen in his losses to Donaire and Agbeko, he has trouble against fighters that move, fighters that don't stand in front of him. A lot of his opponents are people who have stood in front of him. They stood in front of him, and he was able to land a big shot from standing in front of him. because he stood in front of him and fought with him. In this specific matchup, Mars has to box, beat him to the jab, land an occasional right hand, straight right hand, occasionally. Um, use a lot of angles. Don't don't let don't let Darchinyan get his feet set, because Darchinyan has to have those feet set before he lands a big shot. He has to have the feet set, or he's going to throw it from out of range, and move into a specific angle when out of range. Pretty much it's all about staying out of range, not being in front of Darchinyan the whole entire matchup. Jabbing, fundamental boxing. Look for occasional left hooks. Look for your shots from the inside. Look for openings from the outside, but find them using the jab. Find his shots from jab variations maybe. I think that he does have the hand speed to beat him to the jab, beat him to the punch, get his shots out first, make Darchinyan chase him. I think he'll take this matchup if he sticks to that type of game plan. But something that I do this is a hard matchup to sum it all up. Something I do think about this matchup is this is a pretty big step up in a way for Abner Mares. Yanni Perez is a good, really good fighter, and in a way, I did believe that Mares won the fight, but I did think that in that matchup, in a way, Perez kind of complemented that style, but it's a different style than what Darchinyan has, and for a boxer that can move as well as fight, Vic Darchinyan's style complements Abner Mares. But with defense and his aggression being his biggest liability coming into this matchup against a Vic Darchinyan, those are things to think about. Will Darchinyan land one big shot? Is Mares tough enough to take Vic Darchinyan's shots? Through a whole 12. Is he going to stand in front of him? Those are things we have to question. Mares does have a warrior spirit, but I think that Darchinyan's style, if he does not land a lucky punch, complements Abner Mares. A fighter that moves, a fighter that could outwork him. And we've seen Darchinyan on the stage many times. Is Mares going to freeze against Darchinyan? I doubt it. So me, I'm going to go with Abner Mares in this matchup. I'm going to go with Abner Mares by unanimous decision. So anyway, guys, that was the distance. Thanks for watching. Peace.